Lafayette, Louisiana, no stranger to hosting postseason softball. Once again, host of the 2026 Sunbelt Softball Championship this week. Their host tenant, the Ragin' Cajuns, are our 8th seed this week. Again, the 18-time tournament champions in the Sunbelt standing in their way. The Trojans of Troy, last year's host. Welcome back to Lamson Park. You're watching the Sunbelt on ESPN. Our day one coverage continues here on ESPN Plus. 9-seed Troy, 8-seed Louisiana here at the storied confines of Yvette Girard Field at Lamson Park. Already, Coastal Carolina, last year's champions, have punched their ticket back into tomorrow's round against Marshall. We will see who emerges from this to take on the regular season champion of ULM. Lincoln Rose along with Jenna Rose back with you. And Jenna, when we take a look at these two teams, of course, Louisiana, I call them the New York Yankees of this conference. 18 times they've won on the final day. They're not your number one seed this year, but they're trying to take advantage of home field advantage.
I was about to say home field advantage will play well in their favor. If they're able to capitalize, they're going up against one of the top offenses here in the Sun Belt Conference, so we're eager to see who comes out on top.
Of course, when you talk about Troy and all of their promise, you look at the talent of a Michaela Bosley.
Oh, how could you not? When it comes to Michaela Boswell, I mean, she even has a speed on the base pass. She's stolen 19 bases on 21 attempts. She's tall. She makes pitchers throw to her. And, of course, she's 7th in the Sun Belt Conference with a .385 batting average. She also is able to pound those gaps, 17 doubles, and just continues to climb and elevate her game. As you see there, she's rounding, celebrating some momentous moments already for us to reflect on and looking to build on that today. On the flip side for Louisiana, it is Haley Hart, the phenom. Her swing is compact, it's explosive, and she possesses elite bat speed. That is attributed to all the different offensive stats that we see right here on the screen. And also Sunbelt Freshman of the Year, Newcomer of the Year. She'll be continuing to elevate her team, Louisiana, and hopefully take advantage of having home field.
When you rejoin us here in Lafayette, it's the Ragin' Cajuns and the Trojans. Winner moves on to take on the regular season champion Warhawks tomorrow. The 2026 Sunbelt Softball Championship is brought to you by SoldOut.com, the official ticket resale marketplace for the Sunbelt Conference. By Visit Pensacola. Credit Union One. Discover better banking for all at CU1.com. Experience the new era of ticketing with Vivenue, the official ticketing platform of the Sunbelt. And by Visit Lafayette. Enter for a chance to win a getaway to Lafayette, Louisiana. Enter now at sunbeltsports.org. Matchup brought to you by Visit Lafayette.
Well, when it comes to Louisiana, they have to limit scoring opportunities. They're facing a lethal lineup in Troy, Trojans that can do damage literally 1 through 9. And on the Troy side of things, they need to command the strike zone. They've been effective in this all season. They've been doing so with 2 strong lefties. They have to do that to close out strong.
take a look at the lineup for Troy, your visiting team today, by virtue of being the 9 seed versus the 8 seed of Louisiana. Of course, Eric Newell at the helm for a 4th year of the Trojans.
When it comes to the Trojans lineup, 7 of their batters are hitting above 300, so they consistently pound balls. They see pitches well and will capitalize on any mistake.
Just about everybody in that lineup hitting better than 300 on the year, productive from top to bottom. Sage Hoover gets to defend her home dirt, getting the first start here in the circle.
Sage Hoover is a high-performance competitive pitcher. We'll see flashes of a drop curve, screw-wise, some east-west pitching, incorporating that rise ball in there as well. Pretty much throwing everything at you but the kitchen sink, so batters beware.
Ace for Louisiana missed last year after coming over from Texas Tech. Marceau, the talented, again, all-conference standout behind the plate. Otto, Liscano, Hart, and Smith in the infield. Norwood, Williams, and Knox in the outfield for the Ragin' Cajuns. Again, second game of the day, final game scheduled for this first day before tomorrow's quadruple header. And again, temperatures have only dipped about 3 or 4 degrees since first pitch from our first game. And it feels like still just a little under 90 degrees. That humidity's gone up a bit. And I don't know if this is science or not, but I feel like when a leadoff batter reaches via free pass, the humidity percentage is also the scoring percentage. You see our umpires here, more importantly, Laura King, calling the ball and strikes behind the plate. With our 4-person crew, it'll be a busy week for them.
Well, all I can say is that my hair notices the humidity. I'll have to pay attention here as we continue to watch some competitive softball with the Sun Belt Conference.
The 10 seed marched on at the expense of the 7 seed Georgia Southern. That 220-foot center field wall was not enough to deny Coastal a huge blast to add little insurance to their victory. As we are underway with Presley Ivy leading things off against Sage Hoover. Ivy, just a freshman for Troy, was not a part of last year's tournament when they hosted the Georgia native, a freshman phenom this year. Just keeps finding ways to get on base, earning her spot in the lineup here at the top. Lots of free passes.
Yeah, Ivy Presley has been deemed as the resident on-base specialist. She's someone who knows how to get on.
Understandably, a bit of an attendance boost compared to game 1. As the folks from Lafayette and the surrounding community started to slowly find their favorite seats. A lot of green shirts of Marshall were in those front rows during the last game, scouting their opposition. Obviously, they've moved on now to enjoy dinner tonight. They don't have to worry about either of these teams on the opposite side of the bracket for a little while. The 2-2. And the count goes full to leadoff hitter Presley Ivy. You could argue she's already done her job, showing her teammates in the lineup some of the repertoire of Sage Hoover.
She most certainly has, and with the numbers that Troy possesses, that's how you know they truly do have those constructive conversations and help out one another in the pen.
Ivy, 29 walks this year. Will go down swinging. Hoover with her first strikeout on the day.
What Sage Hoover does so effectively is she doesn't give batters time to reset in between pitches. She's going to keep you guessing. She's going to sample different portions of the strike zone and continue to execute, seeing there a big swing and miss from a powerful bat in the leadoff, Presley.
Louisiana last year would defeat App State in the opening round and fall to Coastal Carolina. A lot of teams fell to Coastal Carolina last year, who's now got a 5-game tournament winning streak dating back to last year's great run. It's just about getting hot at the right time. As McKaylee Boswell, we talked about her in the open, heart and soul of this team, and boy, she's been moving around that diamond. Started this year as a second baseman, on to third, and now filling a void as of last month at shortstop. At one point had a 30-game on-base streak this year.
She's a batter who knows how to make pitchers work, also has a team-leading average of 387. Leads the slash line as well.
First batter, Presley Ivy, struck out against Hoover. It was falling slightly behind in the count here to Boswell. Now, Troy this year was 9-0 in midweek games. I don't know if this technically counts as a midweek game. Usually those are dipping out of conference for a one-off. I'm aware of what day of the week it is, but they took care of business. Just that helps you continue momentum from one weekend into the next. Mission accomplished. This is your third baseman, Otto, showing her range. 2 away into the glove of Emily Smith.
That was a hard chopper courtesy of Boswell, but I'm glad that you talked about it. The range that was on display by Otto, she is quick, able to get the job done.
Gives way to Kylie Huffman in the 3-hole, the sophomore in her first year, coming over from your national runner-up last year, Texas Tech. She has been an Ironman this year in the lineup.
It's nice when you have a player that is battle-tested, her durability, and she's someone that you can truly trust. She'll maintain the depth and offensive flow for this lineup and works very well from the side of the box.
54th start through 54 games now on the year. The only Trojan who can claim as much. Sophomore is the pride of Alvin, Texas, most notably perhaps the birthplace of a famous pitcher named Lynn Ryan. Have you ever heard of Lynn Ryan? Lynn Nolan Ryan Jr.?
There we go.
Wrong sport. This one won't get out of the infield as Otto. That is a 3-up, 3-down for Sage Hoover and her defense. The Raging Cajuns back into their dugout will grab their bats in front of the home crowd. Looking to strike first when you rejoin us. Scoreless in the top half of the first, as the Raging Cajuns will try to strike first. And again, some all-conference names at the top of the order. Kennedy Marceau, joined by Mia Liscano and Brooke Otto, the top third of the order for proud Raging Cajun grad in her own right. Allison Habits looking to continue the great legacy now in her second year back on campus, where she was a standout All-American softball player, led them to that 93 Women's College World Series, and even shined on the hardwood with a great career in basketball as well.
I always love the tale of dual sport athletes. I feel like you learn so much more. You're able to take skill sets across sports and just work out different muscles that you maybe not be able to if you're staying in one lane.
It's harder and harder to do at the Division I level. Abby Lovell gets the nod. You see her numbers on the year for the Columbus, Georgia native.
When it comes to Lovell, she's truly going to adjust to batters in-game every time through the lineup. She's always taking mental notes, working closely with her staff. And she's going to exploit that outer half against righties, really try to jam lefties.
Here's Kennedy Marceau leading things off out of Kaplan, Louisiana. First pitch she sees in foul territory. Great effort from Kylie Huffman, just won't be able to come up with it.
That was an absolute shot as well. It seemed as though Marceau was just waiting for that outside pitch and trying to send it with power.
Marceau was your State of Louisiana Gatorade Player of the Year when Allison Habits successfully recruited her to Alabama. Now, of course, last year Habits would leave Alabama to take over this Louisiana program, and now as a sophomore, she's reunited with Marceau. Marceau was in the middle of frog hunting when she called Coach Habits and recommitted to her back in her home state here.
That's my favorite icebreaker of all time.
That one will just miss the outer edge, 2-1. Frog legs a delicacy. Living the good life.
I don't think I've had them before, but I've heard they taste like chicken. Is that pretty accurate?
That's what the chickens tell me. This one over into foul territory. Will it stay playable? It does not. That might just be propaganda. Again, Marceau trying to set the table against Lovell. All of the top third of the order for Louisiana was all conference this year. And Marceau literally grew up less than a half hour away from campus. Two balls, two strikes from Lovell. This one's sky high, but again, will get out of play.
Marceau is extremely poised when she's in the batter's box. She's been able to try and attack pitches that are on the outer half, even seeing that elevated pitch, the rise come in. She's in the back of the box, able to catch it as it's coming up. While it's still not in play, it's still impressive that she's been able to try to sync up her timing as closely as she can with the plane of the pitch.
Abby Lovell at one point battling tendinitis this year, even later in the season got hit by a ball, went for x-rays, but was good to go. And here she is trying to lead Troy as just a freshman into some big spots here in the postseason. As the count's gone full to Marceau, both of our leadoff hitters today in this game have worked the count full. This one down the line, it'll be into foul territory and off the wall. We've already seen Huffman lay out for a ball in foul territory. That time runs into the wall.
That says a lot about Huffman too, that she's always willing to put in the hustle and the effort to make the out.
I think she'll be happy when this at bat for Marceau's over. And after Marceau, it's Mia Lascano. This one, again, just battling, and another instance of a leadoff hitter showing everybody else in the lineup all the pitches that Lovell has.
Lovell, she possesses a high strike percentage, and as she continues to go in these games, try to establish her strike zone, she'll also look to expand it.
She'll learn to walk. After all of that, ball four, Marceau is on. Kaylee Rochinski, the transfer from UTSA, completes the battery. Moats, Boswell, Ivy, and Tidmore in the infield. Howard, Loftus, and Huffman from left to right in the outfield here for Troy. Troy last year was ousted by JMU at Troy in the conference tournament after they finished 8th in the regular season last year. This year finished right where they were predicted in the preseason poll, 9th. Lascano from just south of Austin, Texas, went to Hayes High School. First started off in the Southland Conference at Northwestern State. This ball will die down. That is a fair ball. She's safe. And having to stay honest was Marceau, not knowing if that bunt was going to be caught on the fly, and still able to get down to second in time, for those of you wondering what she's doing.
We're going to look back at the play here. Lascano able to get the ball down. It looks as though it could hit the bat. You don't know what's going to happen. But just seeing the speed and range that Marceau has to get to second in time. Lascano to get the bunt down. This is a tricky situation, and it just goes to show that Louisiana can not only play the long ball game, they can also go in with small ball.
Well, there's just no efficient way to communicate to Rochinski to throw to second initially. But again, how often do we see a bunt that's popped up get caught by a great diving effort from somebody, then you double off the person at first? That's why Marceau slammed on the brakes there for a moment. Now you've got two all-conference base runners for an all-conference hitter here, the junior Brooke Otto. Oh, by the way, nobody out. She does not show bunt. Third baseman Dalen Moats will be mindful of that possibility.
Otto is a complete offensive hitter. If that's what she gets the call to do, she'll do it.
Otto, just like Lascano, a transfer out of the Southland Conference. She comes from McNeese, as this one's bunted straight back to the backstop. Otto in her second year with Louisiana, the Smithville, Texas native. tore her ACL the final day of that 2024 fall before last season, but has made an impact here in her first actual year of competing with the Raging Cajuns. 2 on, nobody out for the 8 seed. Out towards right, able to squeeze it in Huffman. And with runners on second and first, it's not tempting for either to try to advance 60 feet. There's your first batter retired.
Well, also not tempting because you see the velo the ball is coming off of the bat with. Brooke Otto truly punched that so hard into right field. I mean, you can see she was able to change the plane of her swing to adjust to the plane of the pitch. Truly a class act, great in that 3-hole, and now it's going to bring up the cleanup batter.
Yeah, so I mentioned the top third of the order, everybody was all conference, so that gives way to the cleanup hitter, Haley Hart, who, was all conference. Second team all conference. This is your freshman of the year here in the Sun Belt. Haley Hart earning her nickname Money. No stage has been too big for her in her first year at the Division I level. Can she produce in the home half of the first inning? That one just on the outfield skirt, caught by Ivy, and after the first 2 batters reach, now it's 2 straight outs and nobody can budge.
When it comes to Haley Hart, that is a hard batter to pitch to. She has such unique mechanics. Her swing is compact, it's explosive. But if you try to jam her up maybe a little high in the zone with her hands, since she's already up there, it's a bit harder to adjust, get the barrel around it, and that might be what led into that soft flyout.
All right, so it all rests on the shoulders here of Cecilia Vasquez to salvage this opportunity for Louisiana. 2 days removed from her birthday, back on the 4th. She is the only 4-year player for Louisiana in these days where we talk about the portal and transfers. And you see Kennedy Marceau, who earned that walk after close to double-digit pitches. Is on second after the bunt for the base hit from Mia Liscano. But now 2 outs.
We're seeing contrasting mechanics here between cleanup and in the 5th hole here for Cecilia Vasquez. She likes to keep her hands low. That's a great way for her to adjust whether a ball is coming in elevated or hitting the lower quadrant.
The 1-2 from Lovell trying to get out of the inning. Instead, Raging Cajuns are going to take a lead here in the home half of the first inning. Trouble in the corner. 2 runs will score, and it'll be a 2-run, 2-out triple for Cecilia Vasquez.
What Vasquez does best is she's going to take a hit, put it in play, and she's going to continue to stretch it. You'll see singles turn to doubles, doubles turn to triple, and she does that just then and now. I talked about her hands starting lower, able to adjust to that one that's a little low and rocking it right down the line. Having some trouble was Huffman there to make the stop, but that clears the way for both Marceau and Liscano to cross the plate.
So Raging Cajuns have another runner in scoring position with Vasquez fired up. By the way, she's doing all that on a bum wheel. A foot injury in April that has moved her from defensively at shortstop to being your DP. As Abby Lovell almost got out of this inning without any damage done after the first 2 batters reached. So I'll have a chat right now. Pitching coach is Elizabeth Hightower in her first year. Of course, Elizabeth Hightower, what a resume. Her time at Florida as a player. Threw a no-hitter in a regional one year, helped lead the Gators to 2 trips to Oklahoma City in the Women's College World Series. Been a big part of the improvement for this pitching staff for Troy.
No kidding. I love hearing Lovell, Cunningham, and Ames all talk about her. Every time there's been a post-game interview, they're supposed to talk about what's been working well for them in the circle, pieces of their development. Every single time they give kudos to Hightower.
They're going to score a double for Cecilia Vasquez. By the way, my call of her extra base hit, nowhere close to as exciting as I'm sure her dad Enrique would have done. He is the Spanish analyst for the Houston Astros, along with the Houston Texans and a variety of rodeos around the state. Vasquez on third. Louisiana still threatening here with Mia Norwood at the plate. Louisiana's already struck for two. This one towards the gap. It's able to get down, and it is a 3-run inning for the Raging Cajuns, as Vasquez makes the final 60 feet trek home.
For Vasquez, there's 2 outs. She knew no matter what, she was going to turn on the afterburners and does just that. Just underneath it was Norwood. She gets it kind of in a tough spot, not necessarily on her barrel, more towards the neck. It has a little bit of lift, maybe a little softer than she would have liked, but kudos, second baseman, really trying.
So bottom third of the order coming up here in the bottom of the first. Emily Smith. See if she can bring Norwood home. Smith was last year's Conference Freshman of the Year.
Yeah, we can already tell with the game plan for Level and Rachinsky, they are not letting anything get near to Emily Smith. They're keeping it on the outer half of the plate. Smith is a power first hitter, dangerous with runners on. I mean, already boasting 26 RBI.
2-1, punched foul. Smith just batting 193 this year. There's a little something called the sophomore slump. It's pretty standard, especially if you have the breakout season she did last year as a freshman. But her head coach, Allison Habits, just loves her approach every single day, not deterred by any struggles, always eager for the next opportunity.
Best time to work out of a slump, hey, is here in the tournament. Pressure's on, you're fueling the fire. This is a player that knows how to execute.
Louisiana has already plated 3 here in the first inning, all with 2 outs. The 2-2 to Smith. And that will be your punctuation on the first inning, when Raging Cajuns brought 7 to the plate and 3 across the plate through 1. It's the 8 seed up on those 9 seed Trojans. 3-0 here in Lafayette. Reminder, you can enter for a chance to win a getaway to Lafayette, Louisiana. Just enter now at sunbeltsports.org. Something special about playing in the month of May on this diamond. So many great moments, whether it be conference tournaments, NCAA regionals featuring the Raging Cajuns. A lot of great historic softball memories here. Of course, the first ever tournament was here, won by the Raging Cajuns. They were all of 4 members of the conference back then, and one of them's coming back next year, Louisiana Tech, to add to some of the great state of Louisiana rivalries. Lincoln Rose, Jenna Rose with you. Mia Tidmore at the plate. It's the middle third of the order after the top three went in order against your pitcher, Sage Hoover for Louisiana. See the numbers this year for Mia.
Sage Hoover has so many things to pull from in her arsenal. She's truly going to keep bats off balance and has done a phenomenal job there to begin the first inning.
What a journey Sun Belt Conference play was for Mia Tidmore. When conference play began, she was on the bench, just a role player, but her bat got hot and ultimately earned her a starting role at first base. She's typically a catcher throughout her career, but happily embraced the new role and happily goes opposite field for the base hit. First base runner today for the Trojans.
Mia Tidmore hyping up her dugout, going oppo. Really, that's all that you can ask for. She has a lot of height to her. She's going to force pitchers to send it her way, but she's going to rock it the opposite.
Mia Norwood able to track it down and limit Tidmore to one base. That'll set up Ella Cunningham, your DP now, out of the 5 spot. Cunningham, the transfer from Michigan State. Second team all-conference this year. Showing a lot of growth throughout this season as a two-way player. Of course, in addition to being the DP, can give you some good innings. Just ask Alabama State. Struck out 17 in that game. Right now, it's Sage Hoover who has the benefit of standing in the circle, trying to strike out batters. See if she can retire Cunningham with a runner on, nobody out. Hoover with a lead to work with and some insurance. Something the home team in our first game never had. Coastal Carolina struck early against Georgia Southern and never looked back. So the 10 seed eliminates the 7 seed. That one was probably a bit high to be fouled out of play.
Cunningham seemed unfazed when the count was no balls, 2 strikes. She stayed locked in and let that one fall off the plate. Coming in this a little more elevated in the zone, try to get a piece of it. Ready to go with the 1-2.
And the Tennessee native, 7 home runs this year. Runner on first is Tidmore. 1 away. Second strikeout for Sage Hoover.
Sage Hoover is going to pose as quite the obstacle here for these Troy bats, a team that's continued to dominate. She'll give them a run for their money. Cunningham just underneath that one.
So 1 on, 1 out for Megan Loftus, the center fielder for the Trojans. She was determined to get a bunt down. Don't know if she withdrew it. Because the bat did not make contact, Tidmore is free to move down to second on her own, and well, that's even better than a sacrifice bunt. Our umpires are going to come together to discuss whether or not, yeah, they're going to call it a strike, but that's worth it. Trade a strike for 60 feet. And now if you still want to bunt, maybe you put that runner down to third.
Well, Loftus truly does have small ball value. She has 13 sack hits so far over the season. A selfless approach.
So Louisiana fans thought it was also a foul tip, which clearly that did not appear to be the case. We even had an umpire in the field think that the runner needed to go back to first, but I believe we are right where we should be. Runner on second with a strike called because the bat was not withdrawn in time. Obviously the pitch on its own right was not a strike, and again, Allison Habits is asking, did that bat hit the ball? Obviously it'd be a foul tip, runner would have to go back. Not the case. Loved catching up with Allison Habits, who reflected on all sorts of memories from her time as a student athlete on campus. I mentioned an All-American softball player, led them to that 1993 Women's College World Series. Scored over 1,000 points in her basketball playing days as well on campus. Of course, back then it was USL. Runner on second with 1 out for Loftus. Did not want to square around on that one.
Well, I was going to say we saw back-to-back rise balls. So when it comes to Sage Hoover, that ball just has so much life and movement on it. I do understand at certain angles why people thought it skidded off the bat, but truly it was just going up in the zone.
Loft is second team all-conference this year, now in her second year with the program, coming over from Central Florida Community College. And she stepped up after Kai Ricks went down 5 games into the season. This all-conference performance this year. Chases that one, and Hoover has her 3rd strikeout victim. Now, if your goal was to sacrifice yourself with a bunt to move Tidmore to second, essentially mission accomplished. They were looking for a little extra once that runner advanced on a pass ball or a wild pitch.
I like that Hoover isn't shy to continue to pound you at a specific spot in the strike zone over and over again. She was just really working through that rise, getting to able to draw those swings and misses.
Dalen Moats, the sophomore, sidelined much of last year by injury. This year makes the move from shortstop to third baseman. 2 outs, can they produce with Tidmore on second? I think some Louisiana fans are still wondering whether there had been a foul tip on the ball that moved Tidmore to second. That's when you tell them to get out the ESPN app where you can scroll back and take a look. The 1-1 to Moats. 1-2.
Sage Hoover is in a strong position to maybe close this out, so that conversation could be a shut door.
Yeah, Tidmore's the only base runner so far Troy has had through a little over an inning. Led off with a single, advanced down to second on the wild pitch. And a nice job by Kennedy Marceau keeping that ball in front of her.
Troy is in a very aggressive, they are a very aggressive team when they're on the base pass, so yes, doing a phenomenal job with those blocks.
Base hit would likely score a run with 2 outs here. Runner would be going, count goes full. Kaylee Rochinski on deck if Moats can extend this inning. After Louisiana brought 7 batters to the plate in the bottom of the first, scoring 3. Full count with 2 outs. Slow roller, Liscano, it's short across the diamond. Will put an end to the threat here in the second. Troy gets their first base runner and strands their first base runner, as Louisiana will look to add to a 3-0 lead in the home half of the second inning. Troy, Eric Newell. This has been a program under his guidance. Every year, the team batting average and number of steals has increased. Again, they hosted last year. Their motto this year, Troy versus everybody.
See, I'm from Michigan, so I don't know who did it first. I'm gonna say Detroit, but
We'll never know.
I'll lay off. I think it's a great message. It's a great statement.
Lily Knox, your 8-hole hitter, will lead things off here against Abby Lovell, followed by Deja Williams, and then back to the top of the order for Louisiana.
One's a little too close for comfort. Knox leaning back on it.
Knox last year as a true freshman, out with an injured labrum. Still bothers her a bit, but has been able to fight through it this her redshirt freshman year. 5 home runs. Makes me wish that maybe I had a injured labrum. See if she can set the table here in the second.
Yeah, anything with the labrum is no joke, especially when you play a game like softball. A lot of stress, overhand throwing. Same with swinging at times too.
Well, just a hint of drama when these two teams got together the last time. That last meeting between these two teams, long rain delay. Allison Habits wound up being a spectator for the conclusion of the game after she was asked to leave. The strikeout for Abby Lovell as she sends Knox back to the dugout. That's back-to-back strikeouts for Lovell now.
Lovell's just going to continue to keep bats off balance. Louisiana has done a great job so far. They've plated 3 runs, but Lovell's going to do her best to put out that fire now.
In Troy coming out this last weekend against Coastal Carolina, the team we saw win earlier today, where Troy just needed 1 win that weekend to feel good about their spot. They won the first game. Coastal Carolina then in back-to-back walk-offs won games 2 and 3 to punch their ticket as the 10 seed. Just behind Troy is the 9 seed. It's Deja Williams with 1 out after the strikeout of Knox. Before we get back to the top of the order with all of those all-conference standouts for the Raging Cajuns.
When it comes to Williams, she truly keeps innings moving, hits .315, also has strong production coming across the plate 35 times. Just a great position for her to be in as you get ready to roll over the order with Marceau coming up next.
Eric Noah looks back at that weekend series against Louisiana. Just really, still they were a young team as a learning experience. They did hang on and showed some grit in the first game for a victory. This one doesn't stay playable, back into the net. And that one's going to stay up there for a while.
Brzezinski behind the dish was ready. Williams gonna try to stay on top of it.
Deja just a pure athlete. Back when Jerry Glasgow was head coach, she showed up at a practice, asked to walk on. It's the only walking she's ever done with her speed.
Yeah.
Once he saw her speed, she was a Raging Cajun.
Yeah, 8 stolen bases so far on the year. I always love hearing those stories, 2 players having the confidence to walk on, give it a shot.
It has worked out pretty well, including for her current head coach, Allison Habits. 2-2, fought foul. Ian's a second-year head coach. First year is really about just earning the trust of the returning players who decide to stick around. Got her on the 2-2. That's 3 straight strikeouts from Abby Lovell, who's dealing.
She most certainly is working in the lower half of the zone. That breaking pitch keeping Deja off balance, really lunging in that swing, unable to make contact.
Does herself a great service by keeping base runners off the base paths now that she's back to the top of the order with Marceau. Marceau walked to lead off the bottom half of last inning. She would come home to score one of the 3 runs for Louisiana, all with 2 outs. Mentioned top 4 batters for Louisiana, beginning with Marceau, are all conference this year on first and second team. That'll quickly get out of the infield, and it is a 2-out base hit. That third out has not been easy to come by for Troy these first 2 innings.
When you're taking on a batter like Kennedy Marceau, you can't leave anything over the plate. I mean, she's someone who can get her barrel around any kind of ball in any situation. But it just shows her pop, someone who doesn't even really need to swing through to extension, just getting a little past contact there.
That means Mia Lascano gets to bat for her second straight inning. She had the bunt single last inning. Very much swinging away here with 2 outs. And a transfer from Northwestern State a couple years ago. Goes from a Demon to a Raging Cajun. She's the adjustment moving to shortstop after Vasquez had the foot injury that moved her to DP this year. We have several teams who injuries has forced some musical chairs, and it's actually worked out pretty well, it seems like.
Hey, that's how players get different opportunities, right? Able to come up to the plate, both metaphorically and physically as well.
Runner on first, Marceau with 2 outs. This one in foul territory just gets beyond the reach of McKinnon Howard. Marceau extended this inning with that 2-out single after Lovell had struck out the prior 3 batters for Louisiana. Chance to get out of the inning here, the 1-2. Not missed by much. That's good placement from Lovell.
Mia Lascano staying calm and present. Doesn't really show her cards when she's there at the plate, just focusing, wanting to make contact.
With 2 outs, the 2-2. Over in front of the third base dugout and again into the net. Of course, we're here at Yvette Girard Field, named after the legendary coach, former coach of Louisiana. Allison Habits is head coach. At Lamson Park in Lafayette, Louisiana. 7th time Lamson Park has hosted the Sun Belt tournament. Another one fought foul. We're talking about a Louisiana program 18 times has won this conference tournament. Nobody else has won more than 3. And last year, Coastal Carolina became just the 5th different program to win the tournament.
Bit of a bump in there. Lascano bumping into Rucinski really quick. Rucinski trying to get a little dirt on her fingers to get ready in case she needs to fire down a second.
Lascano just fighting, battling.
As you said before, that also gives multiple looks for those in the dugout, those who are on deck ready to go into the game.
Again, you look at the recent years, that great run for Louisiana finally came to an end when Ricky Woodard's squad out of San Marcos, Texas took that 2024 crown. And then last year, Coastal Carolina. That was a collision of fellow underdog JMU in the final. This one poked out towards the right side, but nothing Presley Ivy can't get to. So Louisiana gets a 2-out base hit from Kennedy Marceau, but unable to plate runs for a second straight inning. They'll be content after 2, up by 3 against the Trojans of Troy.
The heart of Louisiana's Cajun and Creole country, a melting pot of generations passing along a recipe of joie de vivre. Live music, boiled crawfish, and the smell of gumbo signify the season. This is Lafayette, a parish filled with culture and hospitality unlike any other. It takes more than a quick visit to understand why we're the happiest city in America. Start planning yours. Allons à Lafayette.
Credit Union One, a proud sponsor of the Sun Belt Conference, offers the best of everyday banking. CU1 members gain access to competitive products like high-yield checking, dedicated financial wellness resources to help you build a strong foundation for the future, and nationwide access through 24/7 digital and mobile banking and an expansive network of 130,000 ATMs from coast to coast. Discover better banking for all at cu1.com.
Well, that regular season championship resides a little elsewhere here in Louisiana. The Warhawks of ULM, your #1 seed, they get to be spectators today and scout out their opposition. It'll be the winner of this matchup, whether it be the Trojans of Troy in a comeback or perhaps these Raging Cajuns of Louisiana.
Now, you think I'd be impressed by the fact that they're there studying in person to watch the game, but I think I'm more impressed that they're not eating popcorn, drinking soda, you know, because that's really hard to do when you're at the ballpark, is not indulge.
Still need to get this kernel out of my teeth. Hang on. On to the top half of the third, as Troy is still working their way through the lineup for the first time. This is Kayla Ruchinski. And Ruchinski out of Montgomery, Texas. Began her college career at UTSA, transferring into Troy this year. If you just look at her offensive numbers, you can understand it for a catcher. You start off pretty hot at the start of the year, but understandably, if you are back behind the plate, crouching most of the innings throughout the season, you're going to get a little fatigue in the legs. But Ruchinski is still so valuable for this Trojan squad. Falls behind here, 1-2 to Sage Hoover.
We know she definitely possesses that power arm there behind the dish, but also we'll see the power bat, and she can be a little sneaky with it too. She gets on base pretty consistently, boasts 5 home runs.
Hoover just had her guessing the whole time. 3rd strikeout for Sage in her start today.
It's that rise ball. She's been able to find success with it, throwing back-to-back strikeouts. Final pitches being rise balls to Cunningham and Loftus that we saw in the previous inning.
Can I interest you in an all-conference batter in your 9-hole? Here's McKinnon Howard, 2nd-team all-conference. Last year absolutely shattered the program record for batting average, hitting .439 a year ago. She is still very much a tough out. She's cooled off to, just .355 this season. Marceau putting in some work, framing that strike zone.
That does bode so well for the Troy Trojans, though, the fact that they're not going to let you let up as you go through the lineup. As you cycle through, you're going to meet threat after threat.
Howard gets contact, Otto charging, and quickly gets it over to the glove to Smith, 2 away.
Howard pretty much putting that speed on display. We've seen that she's stolen 17 bases on 17 attempts so far over the year. Unable to get there in time, but it was a close one.
Otto makes it look routine. That'll get us back to the top of the order. Presley Ivy struck out. One of 4 strikeout victims the first time through the lineup for Hoover. So Hoover at the moment has faced just 1 more than the minimum. That was the leadoff single last inning from Mia Tidmore.
Sage Hoover has plenty in her arsenal to pull from as she continues to fall behind in counts, but this is a lineup that you don't want to do that against.
Sage Hoover and the Raging Cajuns trying to hear their name called for a 34th time in program history. And for the first time since 2024. I mentioned regionals on this diamond. Oh, by the way, 8 super regionals as well for this program in general. 6 trips to the Women's College World Series. It's one of the great programs. Ivy trying to extend things with 2 outs, not chasing that one as the count goes full.
She'll leave that one high in the zone. Hoover won't be shy to sprinkle that in. We've seen it consistently, and it's brought her success, recording a strike.
They're going to need to build a new wall at some point. Most schools are going to have a much larger font for their championships. But it's an expectation here in Lafayette. You take a look at, again, one of the great pillars of the Sun Belt Conference. The win percentage over time in the tournament. Again, they've been they've been eliminated all of 11 times in the conference tournament. That's incredible. And again, Georgia Southern unable to find that first win earlier today against a Coastal Carolina that right now is on a 5-match tournament winning streak, including last year's incredible run at Troy.
It's just insane to see the difference in those numbers, 74-11 all the way down to the nearest one. Still feels like miles away.
And I mentioned next year you're going to have to put Louisiana Tech back into all of that as they make the move from Conference USA into a great fit here in the Sun Belt Conference, renewing a lot of great rivalries.
It'll be fun to change the complexion. I mean, we've already seen a slew of changes. A lot of seniors have graduated over the course of different programs, each one having to dive into different strengths.
The payoff pitch with 2 outs goes the way of Sage Hoover, who through 3 innings has faced just 1 more than the minimum to preserve a 3-0 lead. Well, yesterday was May 5th, and of course that's famous for being the day that the Sun Belt comes out with the conference honors this year. As congratulations, Sydney Burko of Marshall, who will begin her journey with the Thundering Herd tomorrow against Coastal Carolina. Both the Player of the Year, Newcomer of the Year. Boy, there are a lot of great candidates for both of those. Same can be said for Pitcher of the Year, but it goes to Madison Azua of the Bobcats, who we'll see tomorrow. Haley Hart trying to pick up a win today as your Freshman of the Year with her teammates here in Louisiana, as Louisiana looking to add to that 3-run spot in the bottom half of the first. It is Otto, Hart, and Vasquez, the minimum 3 due up. Face Abby Lovell. This one blasted off the wall, got there in a hurry. Howard will play it off the hop. It's a leadoff double for Brooke Otto.
You know, Lincoln, I'll tell you what, I feel like I blinked and all of a sudden the ball was bouncing off the wall. Tremendous power on display, courtesy of Otto. I think it even shocked Howard a little bit there, but she did a great job trying to stay on the warning track a little towards the grass, because you got to read that hop off the wall. So played very well. That speed, the exit velocity is a little jarring. So doing as much as you can in the outfield, a successful double, courtesy of Otto.
And you see the evidence of that torn ACL from the fall of 2024. That brace on her left knee. Look, that could have gone a lot worse. That ball hitting off the wall, Howard at least was in position to knock it down. There are many times that ball could then get away from you, and perhaps Otto or another individual is standing on third base when you finally get a hold of that ball. But that might be it for Abby Lovell, who's going to give away our first pitching change of the ball game. We'll introduce you to the new arm for the Trojans. Right now they trail by 3 to the host Ragin' Cajuns in the bottom of the third. Ella Cunningham will be the next in the circle. We mentioned the two-way standout for Troy. Earlier this year, struck out 12 straight Alabama State batters, part of a 17 strikeout performance. Of course, her bat so valuable in the lineup as the DP, but she steps in here in the third inning with a runner on second and nobody out. And she faces Haley Hart, who a moment ago we just reminded you is your freshman of the year this year in the Sun Belt. Also earned second team all-conference honors.
Ella Cunningham able to work her way back in there for a strike. This is a pitcher that trusts her changeup, and she'll also try to work on laddering when she can, so she'll bring in some vertical pitch locations just to try to change the batter's eye level, but right now she wants to establish her strike zone and see what she can get away with.
Hart is the 11th all-time Ragin' Cajun to earn the Sun Belt Freshman of the Year nod. Lays off that one. We mentioned how all the dominoes with an injury have fallen. That has put her at second base instead of where she was in left field earlier in the year. Of course, Brooke Otto, that leadoff double just tattooed the wall. A stand-up extra base hit. And a line drive into the glove of Tidmore. Unfortunately, Otto didn't have time to get off of second base. Otherwise, she would have been doubled off. 1-1.
The way that balls are jumping off of bats tonight is absolutely insane. So much fierce power from both aisles, making the stab. Tidmore, I love the celebration and the reaction. It probably stung a little bit, but you get the out.
Yeah, Tidmore's tired of hearing about third baseman in the, quote, hot corner. That one got to her in a hurry over at first. Here's Cecilia Vasquez. Well, we talk about a pitcher versus pitcher matchup. Here's a DP versus DP matchup.
Both talented in their own right. 1-for-1 already tonight is Vasquez.
RBI double in the first for Vasquez. She wound up on third after there was some trouble. This is a tough hop. Boswell, does she have the arm? Oh, yeah. That will push the runner Otto down to third, but now 2 outs.
At the end of the day, you go back in the dugout, you get your high fives because you did what you were supposed to do. You advanced the runner. Otto now standing at third. It'll set the scene here for Norwood.
Cunningham inherited that base runner in scoring position, still hasn't let it score. Norwood an RBI single in the first. And all 3 of Louisiana's runs in that inning came with 2 outs. See if they can add a fourth here. Norwood replaced Hart in left field defensively this year.
Until that Cunningham is starting to get more comfortable, already working into this in this at-bat with back-to-back strikes.
0-2, got her. Cunningham inherits a runner in scoring position, comes in and retires 3 straight Louisiana batters to keep it. Just a 3-run affair.
Absolute heater in the circle, courtesy of Ella Cunningham coming in and stopping the bleeding.
On to the top of the fourth, Sage Hoover, the last starting pitcher, still standing in this one. As 2, 3, and 4 hitters due up, Boswell, Huffman, and Tidmore. They were combined 1 for 3 with a single from Tidmore back in the second inning. And McKaylee Boswell hitting .385, 7 home runs, 46 RBIs. See if she can get something going here for the Trojans, who have only had 1 base runner today against Hoover. Just underneath this one, Liscano will let Otto come in for that one. 1-0.
Hoover isn't going to make things easy for you as you come through the second time in the lineup. Already opening things up with a breaking ball. Not easy to see, gauge what's going to happen next as she mixes speeds, mixes locations. So that'll land for a quick pop fly to bring up the next bat.
Again, Kylie Huffman popped out to end the first inning, 0 for 1 today. Of course, she played for another individual synonymous with this Louisiana program, Jerry Glasgow, last year at Texas Tech. Nyjah Kennedy still doing her thing this year. Huffman now facing the Raging Cajuns. One of these two teams will advance to tomorrow against ULM. See a variety of dignitaries in the crowd. We've seen Natalie Poole and one of her assistants for Southern Miss behind the plate, taking in this game earlier. Saw some Warhawks around, knowing that they'll have a date with the winner of this game tomorrow. This one, playable out towards left, hangs up there for Norwood, 2 away. Boy, Sage Hoover. I think just about any starting pitcher would welcome this kind of start on the first of what you need to be 4 days of softball to win a trophy.
Yeah, no kidding. And if we learned anything from Coastal Carolina last season, Nicolai Picone was pitching game after game after game. If you find the right movements, you're able to ice that arm, you're finding success. It wouldn't be a surprise if you just continue to go to that ace, the individual who continues to bring you success.
Well, you know, it's a faux pas to call a game at this point a perfect game, but we can't call it a perfect game because of this woman. Mia Tidmore not only broke up the perfect game, but a no-hitter. Back in the second, led off with a single, but was left stranded. But she is the only blemish so far today in this start for Sage Hoover.
Well, I like that as you were explaining that too, we look back at the single now trying to get the bunt down, just trying to keep the defense guessing. You never want them to know your next move. Otherwise,
I would be screaming to everybody right now that it's a perfect game going on. You never know if somebody tunes in late. 0-2 offering from Hoover. A 3 up, 3 down inning once again for Sage. Another K for punctuation here in the fourth.
Hoover knew that this batter was going to be aggressive, working high and away to get the K.
Trojans and Raging Cajuns had to patiently wait their turn to take the stage here this night after Coastal Carolina took care of business as the 10 seed, upsetting Georgia Southern. Coastal Carolina probably feels like they've been playing in the tournament since last weekend when they had to win their last 2 games of the year to just claim the final berth as the 10 seed. Troy right now trailing Louisiana by 3. Louisiana plating the 3 runs with 2 outs in the first. Here we are in the home half of the 4th. As Louisiana looking for insurance. And again, in the circle, this is Ella Cunningham, who retired the first 3 Louisiana batters she faced in relief last inning. Ultimately to strand a Cajun base runner on third. Emily Smith ahead in the count. 3-0.
Very easy to see that Ella Cunningham has good head on her shoulders, can carry those pressure-filled moments well. Working behind in the count now, 3-0, but I think she'll learn from this one.
So first base runner allowed under the watch of Ella Cunningham. The last time Louisiana had a leadoff walk, they made it count back in the first inning, the first of their 3 runs. They have been able to get their leadoff batter on 3 of the 4 innings so far. It's time called for Allison Habits to talk to Lily Knox. And actually, she's going to have a chat with our home plate umpire. See, we have a change here. It's going to be a pinch runner as Mickey Watts, the freshman, will take over for Emily Smith.
For Louisiana, you need speed on the base paths. They know just because they're holding this lead right now doesn't mean that's going to be the same story later. Troy could be able to figure it out, put the ball in play, have some serious pop in action. Just got to wait.
All right, let's see if we get a little dose of small ball or what they have in mind here for the 8-hole hitter Knox. 25 RBI on the year. Even the first base coach is going to sprint over to make sure everybody's on the same page. And instead of Lily Knox, we'll not only have a pinch runner, we'll have a pinch hitter. This is Erin Ardoin. Her second and final year with the Raging Cajuns, the grad student, coming over from McNeese a couple years ago. And you wonder if they perhaps have more confidence in her being able to get a bunt down, if that's the plan here.
Well, I like that you can hear Troy firing on all cylinders, even in the dugout. They're making the call that the bunt's trying to be placed down, helping the defense as much as they can.
Well, the Ardoins are infamous, synonymous, I should say, with diamonds. Now, she's got 3 brothers who played Division I baseball, a couple of them at Texas, and puts this bunt down straight back to the pitcher, Cunningham. And while she doesn't get to run the bases, she does advance. Watts down to second.
And she fulfilled her role perfectly. That's what you have to do, get the bunt down. It did have a little bit of a push there. Hard to keep the barrel control in, but it hits the dirt. It's not flying out. Catch by the catcher or rolling foul.
It gives way to Deja Williams, who sees Ella Cunningham for the first time. Everybody defensively for Troy in the infield has to be on the same page. If you're the third baseman, Moats, you're still having to stay honest if Williams were to square around, which means the shortstop has to slide over, which means you've got a runner on second who's going to take a few more liberties. A lot to calculate. Williams 0 for 1 with that strikeout against Abby Lovell, your starting pitcher, who went a little over 2 innings.
Lovell was able to find success against Williams, incorporating a drop ball to get the final strike toward the KO.
9-hole hitter trying to turn this lineup over and maybe even bring a run home. Fair ball snagged by Tidmore. That's the only out to record, as again now run on third, but with 2 away for Louisiana in the top of the order. for the Raging Cajuns.
Over at second base, Snow, ball's on the ground. You gotta move it. She does just that. Good look over by Tidmore just to give a glancing check after recording the out, but not much you can do. And Marceau, who has just been an absolute stud in this game, drawing a walk.
This ball will get past the catcher, Ochinsky, and Watts came in to pinch run and has done her job. It's 4-0. And she matriculates around the bases.
Ball on the outer part of the plate, wasn't able to stick in there. Rachinsky feeling that one. Same with Ella Cunningham. You can't have anything too far off the plate with the runner on third in a dire situation, a dire game in this tournament.
All right, so all of a sudden, all the attention just on the batter, Marceau. And a 4-0 ball game for the 8th seed, who is also your host this week. Presumably that'll be a wild pitch. It is. And top of the order for Louisiana. Both the times that there's been a leadoff walk for the Raging Cajuns, they've brought that run in. And it will not be a 4-pitch walk to Marceau, who was the other batter who had the leadoff walk tonight.
Pitchers are having a hard time in this game learning how to throw to Marceau. We saw the walk happen there in the first inning. Dialing it back here, 3-1 count for Cunningham working from behind.
Off the end of the bat, that's a foul ball when it's snagged by Tidmore.
For Ella Cunningham, one of her most trusted pitches is that changeup. I've seen her sprinkle in an elevated pitch or two not too often.
Back to Cunningham. Ella and the Trojans will head to the dugout. It'll be Ella Cunningham, your current pitcher for the Trojans, who will be leading things off. Cunningham, Loftus, and Moats up next.
The heart of Louisiana's Cajun and Creole country, a melting pot of generations passing along a recipe of joie de vivre. Live music, boiled crawfish, and the smell of gumbo signify the season. This is Lafayette, a parish filled with culture and hospitality unlike any other. It takes more than a quick visit to understand why we're the happiest city in America. Start planning yours. Allons à Lafayette.
Credit Union One, a proud sponsor of the Sun Belt Conference, offers the best of everyday banking. CU1 members gain access to competitive products like high-yield checking, dedicated financial wellness resources to help you build a strong foundation for the future, and nationwide access through 24/7 digital and mobile banking and an expansive network of 130,000 ATMs from coast to coast. Discover better banking for all at cu1.com.
Back in Lafayette, Louisiana for the next 4 days to crown a champion in the Sun Belt. It's already a big tip of the cap to everybody at the Sun Belt Conference as well as here at the University of Louisiana. Just great hosts, and appreciate all the volunteers who make something like this possible. Put on a great experience for these student athletes. For 6 of the teams, their experience begins tomorrow officially on the diamond, but already the hospitality being enjoyed today.
Well, I'd argue the experience starts today. We've already seen a couple of the teams pop in over the last 2 games. Check out what's going on, see what's in store for tomorrow.
Here's Ella Cunningham, who can help herself now as she is the current pitcher for Troy. Struck out back in the second against Sage Hoover. Hoover, here in the 5th inning, this is the deepest any of the 4 starters we've seen today has gone. That'll be a great service for Louisiana if they can survive today and continue to march forward throughout the week here on their home diamond.
I like that Louisiana continues to stay aggressive.
3-0. Maybe this is a strategy of put the pitcher on and let her wear herself out on the base paths for a while. Cunningham trying to become just the second base runner today for Troy. She'll have to wait as Marceau calls time.
We actually probably need to dive into that a little further here, Lincoln. This is just one of the top offenses here in the Sun Belt. They already lead when it comes to batting average for the Troy Trojans. So they've been kept pretty quiet in this one. I see here on the scoreboard only one hit.
It just talks about the depth in this conference because not many people want to face the bats of Coastal Carolina and the damage they can do. And what are they? They're the 10 seed. Troy with their consistent lineup from top to bottom. No easy outs, but Sage Hoover has done about as well as you could hope.
Easy to say that softball can be anybody's game any day.
There's a much needed strike to keep, at least for the moment, Cunningham at the plate. Cunningham leading off in the top of the fifth, fights that one off. It's a year where Troy brought in a lot of transfers, 9 of them. So for Eric Newell, just first start of the season, you're just trying to get players to gel and help them understand what the Sun Belt is like. Something you probably just have to experience for yourself in person, but it's ultimately panned out pretty well. Ella Cunningham, a big part of it, but again, she can now focus on heading back in the circle next inning, as that is strikeout number 7 for Sage Hoover in her start tonight.
Sage Hoover, you're seeing that last minute movement there, trying to get a piece of it. Bit of a tip was Ella Cunningham actually, but straight back into the mid of Marceau.
So she has double dipped at the expense of Cunningham. Struck out Megan Loftus back in the second. Loftus, a .373 hitter. That one straight back. And she was second team all-conference this year. Second year with the program, the senior.
I like the idea of working her inside. She has that wide open stance, so as she gets ready, bringing that lead foot in, it's kind of jamming you inside a little bit when you're working high and in. Practicing getting that dominant hand through the zone, letting go of the bat, just finding that movement and rhythm.
1 ball, 2 strikes, with nobody on and 1 away. Hoover was hoping for a backwards K for what would have been her 8th strikeout in the start.
Some great spin and movement on that one. I know some fans in the stands weren't too thrilled with that call, but just keeping it as close as she possibly could.
Loftus battling before Dalen Moats will have a chance at the plate. Hoover got a little more run support with 1 insurance run last half inning. 8 strikeouts through less than 5 innings of work.
To be successful as a pitcher, you really just have to continue to mess with the rhythm and timing of batters and also change eye levels. And what Hoover deploys so well is she'll sprinkle in that rise ball. That's actually accounted for a majority of her strikeouts for the final pitch to go in. So for Hoover, she's going to continue to mix speeds, continue to change locations, but really that's just been her out pitch.
All right, back to Dalen Moats, who had a ground out back in the second. And right now, just batting a ball into play is a moral victory against Sage Hoover the way she's been pitching today.
Yep, ends the last at bat high. We'll start the next one low, already accounting for our first strike.
As a ground out to the shortstop Lascano to end the second inning at the time. This one out towards left, a line out to the glove of Norwood. As Louisiana has retired the last 12 Trojan batters, they take a 4-run lead on into the bottom of the 5th. Home half of the 5th. Again, Louisiana, the host institution, and your home team here today is the 8th seed. All 4 of their runs have come with 2 outs so far. Again, that's the kind of fight you need to see from a team with your season on the line.
This team knows how to produce runs. I mean, we see it here. We've watched it all throughout the entirety of this game. They're just fight, fight, fight.
Again, they have the only starting pitcher still going strong. Sage Hoover has retired 12 straight Trojans, allowing just 1 base runner along the way. Ella Cunningham in her 3rd inning of work. It's only allowed 1 base runner. That was the walk to lead off last inning for Emily Smith. That run would score. Here's Mia Liscano leading off in the 5th. Had a bunt for a single and would score in the 1st. Part of that 3-run inning. 1 for 2 with a pop out.
I believe that was a pretty long at bat as well in the 2nd inning for Liscano, so she's someone that will continue to compete, even faced with an 0-2 count.
Batting .403 now on the year. A high chop gets through as Liscano has her 2nd hit of the day.
Just goes to show if you're able to work a ball back up the middle, in most opportunities it will play in your favor. It's a hard chopper. She didn't get a piece of it that she wanted or loved, but it got the job done, sailing over the head of Ella Cunningham. Unable to make the stop was Ivy over at 2nd.
Louisiana base runners, leadoff hitters, I should say, have reached all but 1 inning so far today. A couple of walks and a couple of hits. Here's Brooke Otto, who led off the 3rd with a double. She was the last batter that Abby Lovell saw in her start, where Ella Cunningham came in and stranded Otto on 3rd. So 9th batter, Cunningham is faced now in relief.
Yeah, Ella Cunningham so far has kind of had a hard time working back in with strikes to begin at bats. It's really hard as a pitcher to work in from behind. She just has to go back to the old faithful. What are pitches that are feeling good, and what does she know she can throw for a strike?
Liscano is your leading base stealer for Louisiana this year, 15 of 18. So Kaylee Rochinski has a mindful eye towards the runner on 1st after her leadoff single. Otto squares around, pops it up. It drops, and they'll get the force at 2nd. And one fan with a high softball IQ just informs all the participants you can't bunt a rise ball.
Yeah, nope, he's pretty close to the mic for that situation. Yeah, back control is a major element of getting bunts down, but kudos to number 9, Cecilia Vasquez, for coming in to at least make something happen to eliminate the lead runner.
So Otto reaches on a fielder's choice that retires Lascano, as opposed to a sacrifice moving her teammate over. Haley Hart 0 for 2 today, was the first batter that Cunningham saw. Hart had that line drawn to the glove of Tidmore. Tidmore was cheating up at the time, so didn't have a full 60 feet to anticipate the ball. And 9 home runs this year for your freshman of the year in the Sun Belt. That'll get away, and that allows Otto to move into scoring position. So now Louisiana's where they wanted to be, with 1 out and a runner on second.
Last time a mistake like that was made, it was pretty costly. And it's a little harsh to say mistake, but an opportunity where a catcher can't make the full block. Pitch is kind of wheeling out a little bit from the zone. And both teams, if a mistake's made, they're going to capitalize on it. You give them an inch, they'll take a mile.
We have some pending changes, perhaps. There's a lot going on, including Kayla Ruchinski. Does this ball hit her exposed hand? Yeah. Did her thumb get bent back? And any umpire is going to buy as much time as possible for the individual who's preventing that umpire from taking a rise ball straight to the chest protector. And hopefully Kaylee can continue.
I like that she was still in the mindset, though, that she's reacting to the play. You could tell it hurt, but she kept moving to go get the ball.
Well, they will have to sub her out. And it is Tidmore who moves back behind the backstop from first. And as soon as we see a number on the first baseman, we'll let you know. Bottom half of the 5th inning, Louisiana with the runner on second being Brooke Otto with 1 out. Advancing on that last pitch, it is Kirby who's in over at first base. Lydia Kirby, the junior, in her first year coming over from Volunteer State Community College.
This does change the complexion a little bit of what's happening in the circle, trying to work in with another battery mate. Depending upon their flow, how they frame, a lot could go into play here, but just have to continue to hit the strike zone.
Runner is going to throw down, and that ball will get away, and was the tag applied right to the face of Otto, who's slow to get up. She had just a fantastic jump. And that ball got to Moats, I think, quicker than she was expecting. Yeah. They are lucky Moats even saw the throw coming from Tidmore. She was looking away. That could have been a ball into left field, and all of a sudden you have a runner coming home.
It's still astounding seeing the knee brace on that and the speed going from second over to third. I don't think that felt great.
Either the glove or the ball itself may have bloodied a lip. As assuming Otto did not leave early, boy, she got down in a hurry. And again, What are you doing? You're taking advantage of somebody who's just come into the game at catcher. The problem is, third baseman was not expecting it. And I think it was the mask of the helmet that gets maybe shoved into her face. We'll see what draws the contact. She's now standing on third. And again, in a way, that was still fortunate for Troy that she doesn't come home on a ball thrown into left field.
Otto trying to recover here. Definitely seems as though that was tough. The glove, forearm getting in the way.
She reached on a fielder's choice. She has taken 120 feet. And it looks like lower lip a little bloodied from, I believe the mask on the helmet was pushed into her lip from a empty tag. Of course, the ball was not in the glove of Moats. Haley Hart has a 3-1 count to her name against Ella Cunningham. But think about just the past couple of pitches. You've lost a catcher after looked like a thumb injury to Rochinski. Hopefully it's nothing major, but it was enough to pull her out of the game. As ULM knows they will play one of these two teams tomorrow. ULM, your regular season champions this year, as they locked up this past weekend. When we chatted with their certain head coach of the year, she was still in her office. What was that, yesterday? She had faith that the commute wasn't going to be too bad to Lafayette. You see our schedule tomorrow with 4 games. JMU and Texas State will both begin their journey. Coastal Carolina winners today collide with 2-seed Marshall. Winner of this will take on those Warhawks. And then the nightcap tomorrow, weather permitting, will be again the Jaguars and those Golden Eagles.
Back to this moment, there are a lot of mental hurdles that Ella Cunningham needs to move over here. Number one, obviously the stolen base, new change with catcher, and then, oh yeah, you're taking on Haley Hart, right? You're behind in the count. One of the top players in the Sun Belt Conference really needs to dial back in here with a strike.
They are running for Otto with Ferguson. Play at the plate, not in time, everybody's safe. And just to add a little extra excitement, Hart rounded first enough that she was vulnerable to a tag out, but got back to the bag in time. But Ferguson, only on the base for a moment, comes home to score.
It's a 3-1 count. Hart comes in. She brings in the bunt. I don't think they were expecting it. Great try over by Kirby at first, but speed on the base pass, courtesy of Ferguson. I've loved the way that Louisiana has attacked running the bases today. Already with the pitching change, or pardon, the catching change. Otto getting a fantastic jump immediately. Think about the game within the game.
Michaela Ferguson comes home on the sacrifice bunt. And it's just more good news piling up for Louisiana. Now 2 aboard with 1 out here in the 5th. And Ella Cunningham, at no fault of her own, was just forced to stand idle there for so long. First you lose your catcher, then you're waiting for a runner on third to be dealt with, who they eventually did replace. And a couple pitches later, a single for Vasquez.
Ella Cunningham hasn't been afforded an opportunity to catch a breath between all this action.
Next pitch, diving snag by Presley Ivory. Oh, that could have been 2 more runs if that gets through. Ivy lays out for a web gem.
That already says so much about what Ivy's able to accomplish, immediately going down to the dirt and gets up to check the runner over at 2. She's not going to let any opportunity skip by. Obviously, Boswell not able to get there in time, and the runner knew to get back immediately.
There's that elusive second out. Here's Emily Smith, who walked last inning. Re-entered after Watts came in and ultimately scored for the 4th run of the ball game. Also struck out back in the first against the starter, Abby Lovell.
We've talked about when it comes to Emily Smith how she may be in a sophomore slump, right? Take a look at her numbers, swinging 193 coming into this game. Still able to manage 26 RBIs and 7 home runs as well, but this is a moment where the clutch gene could really show itself.
And I'll just point out, an 8th home run here would be an 8-run lead. But there's 2 outs in the bottom of the 5th. Ella Cunningham trying to get those bats back in the hands of the Trojans. So carry out to shallow right. Your second baseman Ivy has it. A little less dramatic than her diving catch, but Louisiana has played it a couple of the last 2 innings. That lead is up to 5 as we move on to the top of the 6th. Troy down to their final 6 outs of the season, perhaps. Eight strikeouts to overwhelmingly keep the Trojans off the base path today.
Hoover's been absolutely stellar. I think you mentioned this earlier, Lincoln. She's one of the only pitchers that we've seen today that continues to push through the game at this stage. Already 5 innings of work, only giving up a run. Striking out 8. What's worked so well is changing the eye level of the batters. We've seen here a few times that rise ball sneaking in. Really hard time for one of the best bats in the Sun Belt Conference to struggle with.
Yeah, just conceded that 1 hit to lead off the 2nd inning, a single by Mia Tidmore. So 12 straight Troy batters have been retired. And that'll give way to what was going to be Kaylee Rachinsky, but Lydia Kirby entered in her spot, though filling in at first base, but bats in the 8-hole. Kirby, a .278 hitter this year. Had 36 at-bats on the season. 4 extra base hits, make it 5. A home run, 3 doubles, and a triple. So this is the 8-hole in the lineup for Kaylee Rachinsky. Just the 2nd time the 8th spot in this lineup has come up against Sage Hoover, who again has faced just 1 more than the minimum. And Louisiana, 18-time tournament champions here in the Sun Belt, hosting for the 7th time here at Lamson Park. Event that began back in 2007 for the conference.
Kirby in a pretty advantageous situation here. 2-1 count. Kirby taking a moment. A lot of batters have different ways to get in their rhythm and timing or try to get back in the zone heading to the plate. She just has a moment where she stares down that barrel and will walk back in.
The 2-2 from Hoover. Into foul territory. Marceau has to slam on the brakes with that brick wall ready to greet her. Obviously, Marceau very familiar with how much room she has to work with here on her home field. So Kirby will live to see another pitch. Again, 2 balls, 2 strikes as she leads off here in the 6th inning. Historically, Troy has won 1 conference tournament. That was back when they were members of the Mid-Continent back in 1996. They did make it into the NCAA tournament once as an at-large since then in 2021. This one poked out towards center. Deja Williams has it.
When it comes to that hit, that says a lot about Kirby. I mean, that was closer to the end of her bat. She still sent that out with some power. It had some lift. But Williams able to make the catch and talking with her fellow outfielders.
There have not been a lot of balls put in play. Everybody for Louisiana just has to stay alert. Here's McKinnon Howard, 0-for-1 today with a ground out to the left side. Presley Ivy on deck, hoping Howard can be the second base runner of the day for Troy. And not force them to put the full burden on the 7th inning when they would be down to 3 outs. At the moment, a 5-run lead. And of course, if Louisiana were to find 3 runs, there may not be a 7th.
What's really impressed me about Hoover is that she started this game very efficiently, very quickly in between pitches, not necessarily giving batters rest, and she's continuing to do that. She's still very deliberate and executes on those spots, but to keep the game moving fast, that says a lot going this deep into the game. 78 pitches thrown, and now recording a strike, 1 ball and 2 strikes.
Howard's 2nd year since coming over from Wallace State. We mentioned last year that 439 campaign, just incredible numbers offensively. It's a foul ball beyond the range of Norwood. And Howard's always a tough out in this lineup, especially down in that 9 spot for Troy. Does a good job turning things over for Presley Ivy and company.
Yeah, speed is definitely the name of the game when it comes to Howard's playbook.
And this will be playable for Otto, who did re-enter defensively for 3rd, busted lip and all.
Yeah, that is one fierce competitor. Never fun when you're in pain. Trying to make it through a game, there's some high stakes, but that's when the elite player is able to show up and show out.
See what Eric Newman wants to do here with 2 outs. As they will pinch hit for Presley Ivy, who struck out twice, once looking, once swinging. It's Sophia Jenkins, the 1st-year DP, oftentimes out of the Houston area. Platoon this year at first base, always a home run threat. Has 5 this year in her opportunities. See if she can spark something with 2 outs in the 6th. I think we know what she wanted to do there.
That's hard when you have that aggressive power. Sometimes you have to rein it in as a slugger, right? You want to be deliberate. And she just really swung through that one.
And finds herself in an 0-2 hole against Hoover.
Yeah, she wouldn't be the first to find herself in that situation here. When it comes to Sage Hoover, she's just continuously found success. Curious to see what she's going to deploy to try and get that 3rd pitch strike.
Could not get Jenkins chasing after that one.
Every time Hoover throws a pitch and maybe it doesn't come through the zone the way that she wants it to or scratch the surface, she always just kind of has that moment where you can tell. Just giving the pointer to her catcher, tells her she knows her mistakes.
9th strikeout and the 15th straight Trojan retired by Sage Hoover, and ending away from a complete Game 1 hitter with a season on the line and perhaps a championship within reach on this first of this 4-day tournament in Lafayette. Back in Lafayette, day one of the tournament. Hey, a reminder, ESPN is now the home of MLB.tv. You can stream every out-of-market game live or on demand using the ESPN app. Blackout and other restrictions do apply. For more information, go to espn.com/MLBTV. Lincoln Rose, Jenna Rose with you here in the bottom half of the 6th. To answer your questions, no. As Louisiana just trying to pad a 5-0 lead. This is Aaron Ardoin, who had the sacrifice bunt back in the 4th inning. Mentioned from a baseball family. A leader for this team, whether she's in the lineup or not, day in, day out. Coach Allison Havich just simply sums her up, says she makes her teammates better. We noted all of her brothers who played Division I baseball. Her dad, a former major leaguer.
For Ella Cunningham making quick work, this is one of the first times we've seen her dial in with 2 first pitch strikes.
That foul. So second and final game of today. Coastal Carolina, the 10 seed, struck first early and often. Would hang on to win against Georgia Southern. They, as a result, will face Marshall tomorrow as the Thundering Herd get their journey started as the 2 seed. ULM, your champion of the regular season, awaiting the winner of this game. And 2 other matchups featuring teams who had a bye today. Moats across the diamond, able to retire Ardoin. And the Trojans are 1 out closer to getting back into the dugout to grab their bats for the final time.
What I really liked about that play is the fact that I was watching speed take place in different parts of the field. You see the base runner, Ardoin, really working hard to get across the bag in time, and vice versa over at third base, really just making some movement.
First pitch to Deja Williams over in foul territory, but out of play, as Howard, Boswell, and Moats all converge over there. Kennedy Marceau and all those all-conference standouts are waiting in the wings after Deja Williams here in the 9th spot. The 0-1 from Cunningham. This should be out number 2. And they say it was into the mesh. Oh, that is, other than a play at first, your other bang-bang play is, did she get to the ball before it got to the net? Now Eric Newman's just going to ask to double check.
For Williams, this could be a sign of new life. We've got the replay stacked and loaded for you right here. That looks as though that got into the mitt before banging on the net there, Lincoln.
Yeah, I'm not willing to swear to it, but it certainly looked like she has a case. Yeah, I think she secures that without the help of the net. And that net doesn't budge until her glove. We've got our first review.
Troy is challenging call. That play is under review.
So I'll tell you though, because the ruling was out, do we have anything that absolutely, conclusively tells you that that ball does not at any point hit the net? As tight as that net is, yeah, the original call is a foul ball because it was ruled to have hit the net before it was secured by the glove. I think we both believe she caught it, but do they believe they have enough evidence when they look at the monitor here on site?
Tidmore making her case to her teammates. We'll give you another look.
This is the best angle, I think, in the sense that I think that ball goes right into the pocket of her glove, in which case the leather is always between the net and the ball. But I wouldn't be surprised if they come out and simply say, call stands, if they don't think they have conclusive evidence. Again, Tidmore is in at catcher, and this is very much a position she's comfortable with. Remember, she's playing first out of necessity. as Rochinski has been your anchor behind the plate. But Tidmore back to a more natural spot.
Yeah, Rochinski taking a ball there, I believe to the thumb or to the forefinger.
Let's get our verdict. Ruling on the field initially was a foul ball into the net. Yeah, no surprise there. You just didn't have enough in their mind to say conclusively it didn't hit the net. And so you're going to stay with whatever the initial call was, in this case, a foul ball.
Well, for Deja Williams, this is an opportunity to seize that opportunity, right? New life, going back in, no balls, 2 strikes.
Next pitch she sees, calling for it is Boswell, 2 away. If you have a chance after this game, go back, watch the final couple of outs of the first game where Coastal Carolina and Georgia Southern for a moment thought the game was over, only for the action clock, the pitch clock, to have apparently expired, denying a double play ball. So all of a sudden you're going back to just 1 out in that game, though did not change the outcome. Here's Kennedy Marceau. You talk about second chances, but the Eagles just could not capitalize. This will get down, cut off before it gets to the wall by Huffman, and it is a 2-out base hit from Kennedy Marceau.
Marceau's just been dynamite every time she's gone into the batter's box. Sure, she had a ground out, but I mean, it was a hard hit ball. She's always going to put the ball in play consistently unless she's drawing walks. But really with that, Ella tried to give her a different look with some off speed at first, but able to rope one there into right field. Nice spin move by Huffman to get the ball in fast, because knowing Marceau, she's got some speed.
It's the 5th hit today from the top third of this order for Louisiana. Toscano, a quick out, and that will get the Trojans into the dugout. They are on notice, season on the line. They must score at least 5 before Louisiana can record 3 outs. World Championship is brought to you by SoldOut.com, the official ticket resale marketplace for the Sun Belt Conference. By Visit Pensacola. Credit Union One. Discover better banking for all at cu1.com. Experience the new era of ticketing with Vivenue, the official ticketing platform of the Sun Belt. And by Visit Lafayette. Enter for a chance to win a getaway to Lafayette, Louisiana. Enter now at sunbeltsports.org. Sage Hoover looking for the complete game victory. Just allowing that 1 hit back in the 2nd inning. Yeah, she has retired 15 straight and struck out along the way 9 Trojans. McKaylee Boswell will lead things off. Let's see how judicious Troy is with these pitches. Down to their final 3 outs, needing to score at least 5.
Throughout this game, Lincoln, we've talked a lot about Sage Hoover, but I really want to take a moment to talk about Marceau, who's behind the dish. She's truly done excellent work with her frames, her blocks, also working as a swell battery mate here to make sure that pitches are executed.
Still shy of 90 pitches for Hoover, part of that battery with Marceau. Boswell with a ground out and a pop out today. 0 for 2 against Hoover. So Boswell, Huffman, and Tidmore. Tidmore is again the only one with a hit today, or who's even reached base today for Troy. Your current catcher for the Trojans. That one will get through, and so will that nugget. As Boswell now breaks up a string of 15 straight Troy teammates retired, as she is on. Both singles tonight have been to leadoff innings.
Lincoln, I was thinking about what to say because in her first at-bat, she grounded out. Second time up, she flew out. And I was going to make a comment of, I think she's going to kind of find that nice middle ground there and able to work it up the middle. More oftentimes than not, you can find success and is able to do just that.
See if Kylie Huffman, third time up, can break a early offer. She's got a pop out to the shortstop and a fly out to left. Obviously, you're no longer looking at just sacrificing yourself to advance a runner. You need a 5-run inning here at least. And out, so valuable.
Swinging a smooth 316 heading into this one is a high volume producer as well.
Out towards left, Norwood gets the Raging Cajuns one out closer to playing tomorrow against their in-state rivals. One away.
No sweat off of Sage Hoover's back. Nice work by Norwood out and left to camp under it. Get the ball back in, you never know. When it comes to Troy, we've talked about how powerful they have been in bats coming into this game, but it's just been a little slow.
Boswell still your runner on first. Tidmore, your starting first baseman, now your catcher. First pitch she sees. Fouled back. And she's singled to lead off the second. But the 3 batters after her, strikeout, ground out to Strander on second. The only runner to reach scoring position for Troy today. Tidmore not chasing after that one.
Tidmore does have a professional presence when she's in the batter's box. She's known for keeping innings moving, especially right now, run down. She only has 10 strikeouts on the season, one of those being delivered courtesy of Hoover in today's game. But very selective and likes to bat balls in play.
Time called. Two games today. That's child's play. We will go 4 tomorrow, beginning at 10 in the morning. This one out towards center, but talk about a scouting report. Deja Williams was already there, shading Tidmore over 2 away.
For Louisiana, this is a team that most certainly does their research and prep work. And for Williams, I mean, even if she wasn't shading off to the left, she's fast enough to get there and make it seem easy.
All right, what more can you ask of Ella Cunningham, who came in relief to pitch after starting as your DP today? She's over 2 at the plate, and your season comes down to this. Hoover with a couple of strikeouts at Cunningham's expense so far.
I always enjoy seeing those pitcher-on-pitcher matchups, but it seems Cunningham has struggled a little bit here. First strikeout came on a rise ball, and more recently,
calling for it is Haley Hurt, as her brilliant freshman season will continue for at least another 24 hours. The Raging Cajuns will continue to enjoy some home cooking here in Lafayette, and they will face an in-state foe. Your regular season champions ULM await Louisiana tomorrow.
For Louisiana, this is a team that is so multifaceted. We see they were able to contribute with 5 runs on the board, doing so off of 8 hits. But what really stood out, it wasn't just the power and the ability to get on base, but the way that they played small ball, the way they were aggressive on the base pass, they were stealing, they were trying to make things happen. They truly just capitalize on any situation. You give them an inch, they'll take a mile, and they do just that to keep the season rolling along.
So many positives this year for Troy, but they will see their season come to an end here on this opening day in Lafayette. 3 more days to go, including tomorrow's quadruple header. We hope you'll join us. Louisiana, this year's 8th seed. Can they take advantage of playing here at home at Lamson Park? What a great opening day in general. Our coverage continues tomorrow, 10 a.m. Central Time. as it'll be the Dukes and the Bobcats beginning their journey here in Louisiana. One final time for our tremendous crew here in Lafayette. For Jenna Rose, I'm Lincoln Rose. We'll talk to you tomorrow as we continue our pursuit to crowning a champion in the Sun Belt here in 2026.